player, Warhammer 40k, meets Yarn, Charles the host. Always down playing, but he puts in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Player Warhammer 40k, meets Yarn, Charles the host. Always down playing, but he puts in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue in cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim After Dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cutting mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim After Dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor in the Warhammer 4.
Games Workshop's Basement. By John Quennell. Danny McDevitt. Always Quennell Heffelfinger. I'm Dickie, and it's Grim After Dark.
Sunglassing up this week because we're stars. Not really. Hey, welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer's only late night show for some reason. My name is John. I'm here to misinform and entertain as we talk about the goings on over the last week in the world of Games Workshop. This week, we desperately tried to avoid talking about Female Custodes, and all of our sections merged together as I forget to do all of the pre-work in this final soul-crushing week of my coursework exploding over the time that I meant to do the show in. But before we go on, let's meet the team who make it possible. First up is the co-host with the co-most, all the way from Moscow, Idaho. He puts a T into RTT and lots of other nice things. It's Danny McDevitt.
You know, I don't like tea, John.
I'm gonna have to think of a new thing because you're not going to be from Moscow, Idaho soon. And
you
then
can mispronounce Anchorage somehow. I don't know. Maybe.
But then that's me. I'm making fun of me, and it feels wrong. Anyway, joining as well, he's the beautiful face of everything square-based, a fantasy enthusiast, and a 40k denier. He is a terror of Toronto, a blank space where Val Heffelfinger should be.
What's with the face? What's going on?
Are
you okay?
I feel very cold and hot at the same time, and not sure if I'm going to barf or crap my pants. But either way, that's how I think our audience usually feels. So I'm just sort of the fourth wall is down.
They're pretty sure they're just going to turn it off. And then,
so
he's the man. Well, let's bring in our last person here, even though he rudely interrupted our introduction.
What?
Dickie, we never interrupt the introduction.
Usual.
It's always flawless.
Val's giant yawn while the intro was going on didn't ruin it. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think that was me.
He's the man behind the Iron Curtain of Canada. He's a Canuck with a took, the Canadian coach and American sympathizer. It's Tech Priest Dickie.
hello.
Canuck with a tuck.
Yeah. You can say that because no one can see him, so he can't prove me wrong.
True.
That's all you got for me?
It's gonna be a lot of pain. Just
make sure you turn off your microphone if you have an emergency. That's probably like number one, I think.
Just do the show like this the whole time.
Just add some words around him, Dickie. Have like Valcam.
oh man.
Well, might be dropping out halfway through, but let's see how much we can get him through before he has to evacuate the show in his bowels.
Virtually no difference between those things.
Structurally, they're the same. They're very loose. Yeah. Most people don't like it, but it just happens on a regular basis. But this week we have a comment of the week. And then I was going to say I'm going to take a drink every time something remotely mentioning Female Custodes comes up. Thankfully, our viewers are normal and don't fill our comment section with comments about Female Custodes. Shit, it's a comment about Female Custodes.
Oh, man.
So this person here, again, we'll talk about why I dislike this sort of take afterwards here. It says, granted, some of the responses might have been spicy, but I think the general upset is the D insert. I mean, maybe. Saying it's just nerds who hate women is a poor straw man when most of the people being upset by this can point to the similarities and what happened in movies and what's been going on in video PC games for the last months. I'm not going to prophesize the outcome, but don't be surprised if media starts having headlines about too many white men in tabletop miniature gaming. Guys, is this a prophetic statement about future content where a group of 4 white men can complain about too many white men in Warhammer?
I know that I definitely complain about white men an awful lot.
I just
take some of that Patreon money and hire a woman for the show.
Whoa. Like, let's not get crazy here.
I think the most tone deaf and inaccurate thing about this comment is that the media might have headlines about tabletop miniature wargaming.
Yeah.
That seems to be the most far-fetched concept in this whole thing.
It's fair. But to be fair, we could hire a female Val replacement for 8/10 of the cost of Val.
See what you did there.
Yeah, it's good. Danny,
Yeah.
he mentions here what's happened in movies, but most importantly, what has been going on in video PC gaming for the last months.
What I mean, people have been playing Helldivers 2, John. I'm pretty sure that's all anybody's been playing.
Oh God,
I've been watching videos of people playing Manor Lords.
Oh yeah,
It's been sorry, what?
Manor Lords. What?
I think that's just a special website. You got to pay them every month to join.
Is it Manor Lords? Isn't it Manor Lords? Lords of the
I don't
Manor?
know. Isn't it?
It's like a medieval city builder that's
mean
got 2.5 million.
Lords? Isn't
The
it?
sequel?
No, Banner Lords. Banner Lords is a game that exists already.
Yeah.
This is
what
another
you made up.
This is Manor Lords. Is this like?
Manor?
Manor Lords. Manor, like King Manor. I have a manor. Man of the manor, you know?
No.
We got some good suggestions, by the way, about Danny's new intro in a month's time when he'll be back up in the great state of Alaska. Our good friend Josh Neal, what's up, buddy? Just a reminder, a week on Saturday, you're house sitting. Says he's a rules lawyer, which is a pretty good one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then someone else, Sherman, says he puts the rage in Anchor Rage.
I like that one.
I
Oh,
like
that's
that
good.
one.
That's
That
a good
one's
one.
good. It's
Mhm.
good.
Someone write that
Dickie
down.
edit
We're
this
so-
part of the show out, so it looks like it was my idea. And
Got
then
it.
he can be found chasing ambulances down the street of Anchorage. It's our resident attorney, Danny McDevitt. But I think if we call him our resident attorney, we have to pay him,
Oh, we
which
don't
I'm
wanna
not
do that.
willing to do.
Yeah, and I'm not your attorney. And as I've told you over and over
If I
again,
keep on
both
asking you,
in
eventually you're
written
just going to do it.
correspondence
So I shut
and
up.
verbally. Yeah, but like honestly, I'm not chasing anything. Let's be real. Everybody knows that. I'm not going to chase. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
who would?
Right.
And if you do see an early 2000s Toyota Camry behind your ambulance, could be him.
Make you some business cards, and you're going to be like, I don't do that kind of lawyering. Like, doesn't matter. The billboard in Oklahoma says you do.
Doesn't get out of the car at the hospital. He just yells from the window of his car.
No, I fake people out, Val. People think that there's a woman driving my car because I drive a Subaru Forester. So if I don't have a beard, people just, they make some assumptions about me.
Maybe you just are a beard. That's fine.
Yeah. Hey, look,
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah. No shame in that.
he gets to drive a Forester.
Right. And the Forester, lots of headroom, actually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
That's what I need.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
'cause
you
of the
feeling
one on
over
your
there, Val?
shoulders. Doing okay,
What?
Val?
What?
How you doing? How you doing over there?
Fucking sweating buckets.
Guys, this is what happens when you have diversity and inclusivity in Warhammer. It makes Val physically ill.
Fucking hot seat. The hot seat here. It's a hot seat.
Oh,
The
fantastic.
really important question is whose cursor is that's over his face? Because it's cracking me up.
Clearly, John, I would have to assume.
I don't
Yeah,
have that
I
level
don't
of
know.
control. I can just control the
this is
cursor.
a-
in
yeah,
between
it's
the
a-
curtain
it's a
here.
Oh, there it
Dickie
is.
thing.
Okay, yeah.
It's
It's like
the
little gnats. We're off to a great start here.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Show.
That's the important thing to remember. And like I said, free Radio Armageddon on here in the comments saying, damn, so there goes my plan to get rich by suing John. Free Radio Armageddon, I'm about to graduate at 40 with an English degree so I can continue my job in data validation. I don't know what you expect to get out of suing me. It's really not much.
Not a lot.
I really
Not a
hope that the data's in English. That would at least be helpful.
That would be. And luckily the software used translates when I talk to Italy and they don't listen to me. But hey, we're not here to complain about my work issues.
Italians?
Well, we're here to complain about Italians sometimes because come on, it's just kind of a given. I'm gonna say it's time for state of play, but again, bear in mind everything this week is just like Val's bowels, just an amalgamation of shit that's just very painful to go through.
Very compacted.
Dickie, that was a fire cut. That was like the perfect time to cut me off. 10 out of 10.
I was waiting for you to finish.
No notes. No notes.
Zero notes.
So welcome to State of Play, where we attempt to take a lighthearted look at what's been going on in the Warhammer community. And then the last week, please God, stop talking about Custodes. Do you know how much harder it is to construct this show when everywhere I look, people are still complaining about Custodes? So I've tried very hard. And it would be very lazy of me to just go back to Custodes and female custody talk. So I'm going to do that a little bit. Not a huge amount.
Okay.
But we're going to go through some...
It's a living hell. The living hell. This is it. This is what it all comes down to. This is how I end. This is how I die.
But mainly...
Listening to a grown man read me comments from the internet about grown men having a problem with lady Custodes.
Why are you gaslighting our entire listener base and audience? That's literally what they do week in, week out.
This is literally the entirety of this show.
That's the show. That's all we do. But it's not a lot. I have 2 or 3. It's not quite as crazy as it was last week. But they are... unlike last week, totally reasonable internet reaction. That's not hyperbole this time. It's actual truth. This first one here by Grums.
Oh my God.
His response to it was, the mask slipped. They want you dead. No, I'm not exaggerating.
What?
I like
this is a... I'm sorry.
I like the quote tweet, which is, this is about Warhammer 40K.
So this was Grum's response to this. Are any of you familiar with Grums, by the way?
No.
I think I'm classifying him as an engagement whore, which people on Twitter is. This is Mark Kern, a former team lead for World of Warcraft, producer in Diablo 2, StarCraft, Chrono Trigger.
This is a notable person?
Yeah, ever since, though, he's just kind of devolved into rallying against inclusivity. But Danny...
blue check.
Yep, that's how you know. Danny Val Dickie, Games Workshop wants us dead. How are they going to do it? With Val, it looks like food poisoning, but I'm not a doctor.
All right. So I think Games Workshop is going to utilize some method that's going to save them as much money as possible. So I'm thinking some kind of reusing of sprues in creative ways to kill people, like maybe grinding them up into sharp bits and putting them in people's food.
Now that you've said reusing things, do it as cheaply as possible. What it's going to be, GW is going to kill us all, but they're going to use a 1993 Ford Tempo that belongs to the son of one of the owners. And they're just going to go to tournament halls for the events they're running, just drive that sucker right on through there, hit as many people as possible, or at least kind of break and be like, hey, what's your thoughts on women? And they'd be like, scared of them, don't like him. And then he gets run over.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen.
It's the Tank Shock Initiative, John.
Well, that's just one other horrible nightmare vision that I'll have when I'm at tournaments in the United States. Thank you for that, John.
That Mike Brandt will go show up in a 1993 Ford Tempo and try and run you over if you don't have views of positivity.
Yeah.
It's just, he has this thing where, guys, if you haven't been to an official GW tournament or kind of Nova, Mike Brandt does a thing at the start, or even towards the end of the events, he'd be like, hey, before we start, look around, you're all losers. And it's meant to be a nice way to make everyone feel better about competing, but really it's just calling everyone a loser.
Yeah, no, really, that's exactly what he's doing. Also,
you understand
does Mike Brandt drive his own car?
Well, he has to, because there's cost-saving measures to murder everyone. where now he's going to just show up at tournament, honk the little horn that doesn't quite work because it's a really old car. And
He
this guy,
he strikes me as the passenger of a Subaru Forester.
driven by
Not
Danny.
in mine, I'll tell you that.
It's like, hey,
I'd make him roll down the windows. He wouldn't be able to smell his own farts, and he'd be mad at him.
like, hey, just so everybody knows, before we get started, we're all roadkill. And that's how the tournament. Oh, fantastic. As a little bit of a palate cleanser, because it's not just been all terrible discussions about female custodies. This was one of my favorite responses to it
But
entirely.
mostly it's been that.
It's mostly been that. Guys, you have no idea how hard I had to act. Usually, putting the show together, I just sit on my couch like Saturday, Sunday, scroll through Reddit, Twitter, kind of Facebook, kind of get some stuff out of that. This week, it took me so long to find anything that wasn't just making fun of the fact that something's always been lower custodies. But Danny, what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at what is a meme, John. And this is
Pretty fresh. This is very
something
fucking.
popularized in internet culture to make a joke about a concept, usually by taking a scene from a movie or
Yeah.
some other visual performance, taking it out of context to
Impact font.
relate to their new
Mhm.
thing. Yeah, of course, right?
Impact font.
So here we have
White
two
letters,
stills
black
from the
outline.
movie, the 2001 movie Anchorman.
It's real fresh.
Was it 2001?
What's that?
I have no idea. I just
2001?
made that up.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think it
I
might
think
be.
you might be
later.
right around there. Yeah.
But it's pretty close. Might be 2002. So all right. So
Which is
the
about right.
2002 movie Anchorman. Here we have Steve
So
Carell.
shit, it was 2004.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
3 years off, man.
close.
It's a big deal,
Um,
though.
And Paul Rudd. Am I right there? I believe that's the other
Yeah, that's
character
him.
that's portrayed.
Yep.
Anyway, these two people are having a conversation. It's titled "People Complaining About Female Custodes Be Like," and Steve Carell says, "I read somewhere that their periods attract bears. Bears can smell the menstruation." Meanwhile, in the next scene, it says, "Well, that's just great. You hear that? GW bears. Now you're putting the whole fandom in jeopardy."
Wow. Yeah.
Nice. I
That was
like you
good.
reading the words as they're presented as well. That's one of my favorite gimmicks.
I liked where it was the joke from that movie, but with different words.
But it was about this, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. good
I'm
one.
really, really excited now to be aware. Be aware now that we're flying under the radar a little bit. That at official GW tournaments, not only is it Mike Brandt in a 1993 Ford Tempo,
But he's
also
menstruating?
bears.
Oh, no, but
But it's
also bears.
bears.
Also bears. I get it. I get it.
And the bears will ruin the fandom. That's
Yeah.
a joke there. I mean, it's multi-layered, Val. There's
It's so
several
layered.
jokes there.
It's so good.
This-
There's no way. This is the
This
high.
joke is Ursine.
Nice.
Nice.
He just drops and leaves the
This
Looks
one
like he's
here,
about to drop.
show. He doesn't
Was-
the job.
fantastic for so many reasons. It's a picture of, I believe, someone commissioned himself to be a space wolf, painted, and it says, "We have the codices, we have the rule books, we have the models, we have the terrain. All we need are the spaces, and a lot of people have that at their houses."
I like that this immediately implies this man does not have a house.
Yeah. He does not have a space to play at his house.
We don't need Games Workshop to keep playing 40K, which
Except I
honestly,
might.
fantastic slogan. Sign me up. I don't want you to play anymore either. So it works for everyone. But then it's the comment above it says, "No retreat, no surrender," when legitimately stopping interacting with them at any level is sort of a retreat and surrender, wouldn't you say?
You stop that sentence confusingly at the wrong point because it actually says no retreat, no surrender, brothers and sisters.
With a saluting emoji.
If you've been noticing, a lot they'll add sisters and things to make their tweets seem more inclusive while they rail against scary women being involved in the game now.
Ah,
Yeah, and much in the same way that I yell out for Henry Cavill. Like, he's not going to respond. Doesn't matter how many times I put his name down. he's not going to be a part of my life. Who knows?
No, hey, don't count yourself out, John.
Yeah, man.
You're a pretty good-looking guy.
We don't even
Thank
know
you.
if he's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, has anyone actually hung out with him?
plays 40K. He's got to be kind of a dick.
He might be.
Probably.
You don't know.
Prerequisite.
All the 40K players I know are.
He
I
works
have
out a
been
lot.
Not good 40K players.
Oh, and that's Radio Free Armageddon or for Radio Armageddon in the chat again here saying it wasn't a surrender or a retreat, it was a tactical withdrawal. Oh, beautiful. And then my other favorite response to this, I'm trying to like sandwich good and bad, was this one here. This comment on Twitter, no blue check mark, so I don't know what that tells you about it, but it says the Warhammer community, where you create armies of dolls based on fanfic lore and then paint them by following makeup tutorials, is a very conceptually funny place to exclude women from.
That is really good.
In general, it's a crafting hobby. Like it doesn't
I mean, I definitely buy stuff at Michael's. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I don't.
Fucking online 50% off coupon. Who doesn't buy stuff at Michael's? Come on.
When do you think I buy my airbrush, baby?
My dry brush is a makeup brush from Target because big makeup brushes are the best.
Yeah, they're good.
Large scale dry brushes.
Very good.
Yeah. That's been a hot tip since at least the time that Anchorman came out.
Yeah. But for me, not so much. Who knows? Val, I'm really happy you made it to this point of the show without having to emergency exit, because this next thing I found, it started to do with Lady Custodes, but the more I went down the comment thread, it actually turned into something pretty cool. So I cut out all of that other stuff, and we just have this guy here, Nick Davies from GW, or previously from GW, said, "What have I told you? There was a point the game designers at that time were playtesting 40K armies against Warhammer armies."
I like
Which I'm assuming they mean Warhammer fantasy armies.
There was a time where you didn't have to say fantasy. It was just Warhammer.
Yeah.
But that was like Anchorman levels of time ago. So we got to really clarify now.
Probably.
It's further than that.
Perhaps predates it, in fact. Yes, I would say.
Oh, so yeah. What are you guys' thoughts about mixing of the genres? I know, Val, you and Dickie did some streaming for GW.
I was going to bring that up. I actually thought it was cool as hell. And everyone else thought it was a terrible idea. But that was...
What are you referring to? Because a lot of people might not have seen it.
Well, actually, even though we've poked fun at good old Mikey B, Mike Brandt was like, "Oh, at the World Championship, there's I don't know if there were. I guess once the first round was over, there were some spare players in both the AOS and the 40K, and he said, "Why don't we have them play each other?" And that's the story. So they played AOS versus 40K on the U.S. Open finals in the first year of the U.S. Open. But not in the top table finals, but it was like filler content. I thought it was kind of cool. In those days, it kind of worked. Like the AOS and 40K were close enough. What did they play, Dickie? It was the Giants, the big guys versus. It was Knights on. Was it Knights on Knights?
It was Knights
on Giants.
Yeah, Knights on Giants.
Oh, that would be cool. I could see that being fun.
Pretty sure the Giants all got shot to death immediately.
I'm pretty sure
the Gargants got beat up. Yeah.
One would think your average 40K player would be like, "I'm going to deploy everything along this back line and then let you slowly walk towards me." Danny, was crossing over 40K in fantasy anything you tried in your younger days?
Yeah, totally. Like 2nd edition 40K and 5th edition fantasy stuff. Totally.
Yeah, that would have worked. Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally fine. That's actually the first game of Warhammer I ever played, had both fantasy models and 40K models, and we were just, when I was like 12.
It is funny, just playing and not caring. It's like we did that as children, but we were children,
Mm-hmm.
Let's take that as you may.
Now we're men, children.
So deep.
Basically, I'm calling those people children.
Yeah. How would that work in your eyes nowadays? Modern 40K versus modern Warhammer fantasy battles.
Are we talking old world? Or are we
We're
talking
talking old world?
Old world.
Well, there's more damage now, but not that much damage.
Those characters at like 2
Like-
wounds are going to be really hurting for certain against those 40k multiple wound armies.
But
Oh, I love that.
there are multiple models with 3 saves and 4 saves. Also, you can have reroll. So yeah,
Also, the fantasy models are like really fast. Like comparatively to 40k stuff for charging, like if you have a fast guy on like a dragon, like he can charge 20 inches, like no freaking problem. I don't know.
So if you were to take the top army in 40k right now and put that up against the top army in fantasy right now, and a weird amalgamated quote unquote fun rule set, who
Yeah.
wins?
The 40k army, John.
The
40k. They just have too many wounds and too many attacks.
All
Like,
their guns have AP, and they're like strength 5 and 4 and stuff. They'll just rip apart
damage
the fantasy
2.
model.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, one thing 40k doesn't have that every other game system has is the coolest miniatures, because I do think, although 40k does get some cool stuff, every other game system seems to get cooler miniatures, including special edition ones. When this guy was announced this week,
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
brand new
so
white dwarf.
Graham Brindle. He must have rules for Old World.
I
Yes,
hope so.
He doesn't.
but
Oh.
beautiful new model.
Why'd you crush me like that?
Because I'm so cold.
Because you can.
Val's slowly dying
Oh,
of like
bloody.
37 diseases
He's gonna
down
take
there,
me with him.
but he's gonna hang on to make sure we're all as miserable as him.
Yeah.
So Danny, they canceled Old World. I heard it here first.
He is gorgeous.
But beautiful miniature,
Yeah.
and just the background as well is fantastic. What I was going to ask here is, when I scroll down to the right thing here, what are your guys' thoughts on commemorative miniatures like this? This is now the 4th or 5th version of Grumbrindle. We have kind of Christmas miniatures. We have anniversary miniatures.
There's got to be a lot more than 5 Graham Brindles.
A lot of ones that they can't necessarily be used in game. But what are your thoughts about these guys?
I think it's cool.
I think they're awesome. I think really what I want to shout out here is that's got to be one of their nicest paint jobs.
It's phenomenal.
Like that is really, 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 really good.
The axe looks so good.
Like it's like I know like obviously the whatever the fucking the guys who are good at painting at Games Workshop are called. I know they're good, but like rarely do I ever see them and think
they
like
don't
that.
have names. They're just
No, but the shop,
the heavy
the heavy metal team.
Yeah, do they call him heavy metal anymore?
I think so. Regardless, like that looks like it could be a Golden Demon entry, and I don't normally like think that when I see a heavy metal mini. Like it's got like
they chose a really great angle for it. It's a fantastic paint job. The background they used is different than anything else I've really seen for these kind of preview pictures.
yeah.
It's very strange for GW to have a really good photo of a really good mini, of a really good model. Usually it's 2 out of the 3. You don't get all 3.
I bet you any money they actually sent this out to a painter to paint it rather than let their studio painters do it.
That's usually, from what I understand, an SDS thing. That's why like Blood Bowl minis look so stylistically different. It's because they're usually outsourced to like Spain and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this guy would look so good instead of that Dwarf Lord on Shield Bearers. Like if you just replaced them with him, he would look really cool.
Put him on the shield bearers.
Yeah, he would look way cooler on the shield than the current Lord does.
Even Belagor looks great up there.
On the Dwarven Shield?
Yeah, you put Belagor on shield bearers. He looks great.
Right.
Just
He does
one
look
little
good.
toe.
Fantastic.
Am I saying this wrong? Belagor? Isn't that his name?
Belagor. Yeah, so it's the dwarf character, not
I
the
think that-
demon prince of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Belagor. Oh no, Belagor.
Oh, just imagine this ballet pose of his toes together. at
Although
the bottom.
Belagor on shield bearers also funny. I like that.
So
I'm like, okay.
Dickie, are we going to have a countdown on screen for like countdown to Valplosion?
Oh man.
Oh, fantastic. But yeah, beautiful miniature, great paint job, great photo. Very strange to see. So I wanted to kind of pull that up for a little bit of positivity here. this weekend, it was the 20th of April, which means something for some reason to some people. So, Danny, what are we looking at here?
John, this is another meme.
Really?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a picture of an old man sleeping, and with the subtitle Malcador. So, assuming this guy is Malcador, shit, it's 420. That means he has
Hitler's birthday.
as well. And it goes down to the Emperor, and he is purple now with a lot of ganja, and he says, "Call me the Emperor."
I like this one. I like this one.
How different is the Horus heresy if instead of the Emperor, it was the Emperor in charge of the Imperium?
You know, John, I think things would be a little bit more chill there.
Yeah. We can see that.
Interstellar travel might be a little, less accurate. I think.
Also, like
they jump to the warp and they just come out exactly the same place, but 2 years later. Like, oh.
Also, like that'd be a bad trip, man. Like you would not want to be all paranoid and shit going into the ether,
into the warp. No,
into that warp. No, man. There's demons and stuff.
Which characters in the Warhammer 40,000 universe are most likely to be heavy marijuana users?
Are there drugs in the 41st millennium? Like, is that
Dark Eldar use a lot of drugs?
That's true. Yeah, but in a fun way. Does anyone recreationally use drugs?
The assassin guy uses them, but I don't know in a fun
Oh
way.
yeah, the Eversor.
Yeah,
he takes a lot of drugs.
Could you imagine him mellowed out?
Arcoflagellants. They do a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Now I'm just picturing an Eversor assassin kicked out of his pod to do his mission.
Super high on weed.
And just
someone gave him
against a rock, counting his fingers.
Someone gave him edibles instead of the fucking kill everybody drugs.
Yeah.
There's just one servitor who's just really freaking angry back home for some reason, but I don't get it. I gave him the weed.
Servitors definitely get a CBD injection. They must, right?
Yeah, have to.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of the Emperor. I hope the Emperor. I hope this meme has some staying power.
Now we got a Photoshop like golden throne with just like a little roach sitting on it, like almost burned out, almost gone.
But it's actually the Emperor.
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah.
But he's the roach.
Moving on, because we're adults. This person
Somebody
here,
smoked the Emperor.
I was there. I was there the day they rolled the Emperor.
Shit, I just quit smoking this shit last week. All right.
Horus started it because he was skipped in the circle, and that really rubbed him the wrong way. So he went to war. This guy here, he says, I really want to run a Land Raider both for my Chaos Space Marines and Black Templars, but I don't want to buy two kits for the same thing. So he had a fucking fantastic idea, and he painted a Land Raider to look like a taxi with an Uber logo.
I understand. I don't get this. I don't get
Danny, do you want to explain this?
Please explain it, Jack.
In the United States, when people want to travel from one place to another and they don't have their own motor vehicle, you can rent a motor vehicle through either a taxi service or, and I don't know if you guys have this in Canada, but it's a company called Uber. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. It's a reference to Nietzsche.
Sure. Anyway, so
but what is there any significance? Is there any significance here to it being a taxi and an Uber at the same time?
I think that was a stylistic choice.
What? Like,
aren't
why?
all Ubers taxis?
No, that's the whole point. Is they're contract? They're contract employees. They're not taxi cabs. They're not licensed.
They're an Uber. They're a taxi.
No, Ubers aren't taxis, man. That's the whole fucking point of this. Why they don't have to fucking pay all the money to the governments and stuff? It's because they're a bunch of fucking pirates.
I understand because they're independent contractors, but what I'm saying is because, like,
That's what before you guys keep going, I just want to say thanks for approving Adam Camilleri, right? That this is not comedy. This is just a legal discussion of what an Uber is.
So the joke here, though, is that anybody can ride in an Uber as long as they're not rude. So both the Chaos Space Marines and the Black Templars can use it.
Actually, on the contrary, I mean, anyone can ride in a taxi. I mean, they're bound by laws to pick up anybody. But an Uber, you can refuse to. You have to have a cell phone. I mean, there's some gatekeeping.
Yeah, but this Uber is accepting of all those things. The problem with this,
would a Chaos Space Marine have a cell phone?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's the 20th.
This is a Land Raider Redeemer, though, and Chaos Space Marines can't have those. So I don't really understand what this person is.
But what if the custodian trying to get into this has a vagina?
Invalid. It's just it ruins. There's
the comedy. Gonna say, you're using this Land Raider. You're either your Chaos Space Marine, your Black Templar. Please leave a review for this Uber driver.
5 stars.
5 stars only.
5 star only.
Got some bottled water under the seat for you.
It's always about the water under the seat. Oh, this is a fun one. This is someone sent this to me here. I think this was Josh. Wow, what a buddy. This is an excerpt from a book where it says, Asmodai didn't need to hear the word. It was uttered born to his horrified mother and chased him. But then moves on. It's just like, the word. The apostle was going to say the word. Guys, what is the word?
I want to say bird, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I don't think it's the bird.
I know what it is because I read this book.
Thank you for not just insisting like right answer.
Well, I'm just hung up on what I don't know what caprine is. A warbling caprine bleat.
Is that not like porcine? Like, is that like, I thought it was pig like? Is that what that means?
Wouldn't that be porcine?
I don't know. Or maybe it's goat like.
Caprine.
Just
like
wanna
Capricorn?
Yeah.
Just gonna call out in chat real quick here. The guy called Matt the Beast saying, "We need Misters of Battle and Sirs of Silence," and I'm so glad someone is finally coming out and demanding the appropriate male representation in Warhammer 40,000.
I would get behind Misters of Battle.
Well, it's like
100%. I've never heard that before. Obviously that's something that has existed before. This person probably didn't think of it, but it's like that's funny to me. Misters of Battle.
The little art has them in gentlemanly top hats, and for that reason alone, I'm behind them. But mainly because I want an STL of a person with a top hat.
Yeah.
Primarily for my Necrons. If someone wants to point me the way of a Necron STL in a top hat, it's really going to make my Hexmark Destroyer pop. Moving on before
an STL of a top hat and put it on him.
Look, do I look like I'm a miniature modeler to you? I'm just going to assemble stuff as it's given.
Nice.
Do I look like I've ever converted anything in my life? No.
Refuse. I have not converted entire armies. Oh, this is a good one here. Little James Workshop himself, Steve Conlon coming in with, now that all the custodian tantrums are done with and everyone's completely over it.
Custodes.
That's even better. Holy shit, that's great. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Let's get back to talking about the real controversy. In 1998, they split the beloved undead faction into Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings. They did it on purpose to specifically hurt me. Danny, how do you feel about that event?
You know what? Honestly, he's got a good point here. He's got a very good point. People are still upset about this. This happened a long time ago. I had this White Dwarf when they released the Vampire Counts book, and then they also had the separate Tomb Kings like army list that was in White Dwarf. I was very excited that I didn't have to buy an army book to get a whole army list. I thought that was the best thing in the world.
Psych.
Yeah, just kidding. But people used to be able to take liches with their undead or mummies. There was a unit of mummies you could take in the undead army.
Yeah.
Did this split hurt as much as he says it did when you realized what was happening and you weren't just getting a free army book?
John, it was in a time before the internet was vastly popular, and so or I wasn't involved in the mailing lists or listservs or whatever people were using in '98. Maybe some kind of a forum to talk about such things. So I'm not quite sure what the outcry was.
No, perfect. Apart from the destruction of the old world and the retiring of Warhammer,
Mhm.
what is the worst thing Games Workshop has done to each of you? And I had to be very specific because I knew as
Personally?
soon as I said that,
Oh,
the
man.
first thing would come up would be Fantasy Battles going away. But aside from that,
Well, it predates me, so I'll just say letting 9th edition fucking go for the first year and a half that it existed. That sucked. Made me hate 40K and everything to do with it.
that's fair. We welcome that insight every week here.
I got a good one.
It was a betrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Dickie, what you got?
What's up?
So GW hurt me because in New Orleans at the GW event, they all went to dinner and left Val and myself to put together random metal structures to block the viewing of other people. That was so dumb. It's the worst. It was they just walked away. I don't know what they were doing. They were like, "Yeah, go grab some of those metal things." No
In
idea.
their defense, they'd probably already worked 12 hours a day, and 4 of that was unpaid. So whatever.
Yeah. Don't log
Still.
those hours accurately.
I mean, we were making at least $2 to $3 an hour. So
Wait, we made money. Wait, there was
Yeah.
money?
Val just forgot to cash you out your $2.
Val kept those fat tips to himself.
No, we had to give those
Oh.
to the talent. Clearly,
This guy has been on my slideshow for a while, so I'm really happy I have backups for slow weeks like this. This one is a very mature response where it says, so Amazon ruined Halo, Lord of the Rings, The Wheel of Time, and The Witcher. What makes you think this will be any better? And then a picture of a CG or AI generated picture of Henry Cavill and what looks like just regular medieval armor.
blue armor.
apparently the Fallout show is good.
My question for you guys is, how hard did Amazon have to work to ruin Halo and The Witcher, shows they were not
Right.
involved with?
Pretty hard.
I
you
see
know.
what you mean there. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Though this does bring up the question about adaptations of kind of nerdy kind of fandom properties in general. And as you correctly just pointed out, Val, no spoilers because Dickie's episode 2, Danny I think's episode 6.
I haven't started
twice.
yet, but it's on my list.
The Fallout show has been phenomenal and has
Believe
been
it.
handled very well. They made some lore changes.
Also, the Heroes one, the fucking really gory one.
Yeah. But it's been very well received and kind of respectful. Do you think that the show coming out and the way it's been received has kind of helped the fan base not freak the fuck out about the fact that people are going to be making a show about 40K in 5 years?
No, because these people are losers.
We start every
Anecdotal.
tournament telling them that. We've been trying to reiterate this point for years. But nobody seems to be
As the sub check once said, "Don't be afraid, Donnie. These men are cowards."
Mhm.
Uh,
And we'll say, I have argued far too much about the Halo show as today as it is, because I don't generally give up on things when I should. I enjoyed season 2. I'm sorry. It's okay to like things though. That's kind of how it is. But again, the show is minimum 5 years away still. So Yeah.
Honest question: when do you guys watch shows? Because everyone seems to watch shows, and it's not like I'm not like I mean I've got things going on, but not any particularly more than anyone else. That I feel like I just don't watch shows, and I don't know when I would watch them. Maybe it's
So,
because
when
I'm just so tired.
after dinner, my wife and son split away. I go work on schoolwork up until 7:30. So about an hour and a half. And then I go hang out and play with my family until my son goes to bed at 8. 8:30 when we're done putting him to bed. I go downstairs, do like another hour of schoolwork.
Yeah.
And then 9:30 to 10:30, I watch a show.
Okay, it's like an hour a night.
Yeah.
All right.
But in
Yeah.
a week, that'll get you through a whole season.
Good chunk. It's a good
That
bite.
sure
It's a
will.
good bite.
I sure will. It's all about scheduling. Horrible, repetitious scheduling. And also, I get a point where my brain explodes from school, and I just don't want to think anymore. So,
Do you watch with your significant other?
Some stuff.
Some
stuff she
yeah.
doesn't like. Some like I have no interest in watching the 80,000 hours of weird reality Love Island shows that are on Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah.
And she has no interest in watching the weird comedies and shitty movies that I watch. So, together apart.
My sweet wife's a murder show type. She loves the murder shows.
No.
I watch those with my wife.
What
usually.
That's Danny only watches them with his wife so he can see the signs
did
before
you eat
it
dinner
happens.
before coming onto the show tonight? I'm just asking for.
Yeah, what did you have tonight, Val?
Were you?
Trying to think. I drank some chocolate milk.
What color was the chocolate milk?
I don't know. I guess
Orange.
it's probably chocolatey. Smell looks similar.
Chocolate, yeah.
It's color chocolate.
Sherman asking, is that why the show is at this time? It pretty much worked around my schedule for the last couple of years. So yeah, that's exactly why it's at that time. And it's late enough for me to participate, but not so late that Dickie and Val on the East Coast will die by doing it.
Well, originally it was more the earliest we could do it with you guys being in Alaska.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because even still really, I mean, it's still what, 6 o'clock we start for you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still pretty fucking early.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing the show.
Well, I started 7, but yeah.
But now you do. But when you're back, you'll be back.
I started at 6, yeah.
Who even knows? And then, if I move, then we'll just change it to fit me and screw Danny in his law career.
Uh-huh.
He's going to ask for a dismissal quickly so that he can go and record his little Space Dolly show.
I have a 2-bit podcast. I must record it.
And then I think whatever last up here for sure. Yeah. It says, fuck the current drama. Tell us your personal headcanon idea for a story in Warhammer 40,000. My one is just my personal little, because Danny and I were doing the Stillmania sort of thing where we're taking it back and having a set army list for 3 months and kind
That's
of lore behind it.
Custodian Vaginas had distracted us from the true meaning of the show, which is
Warhammer.
You guys making some armies that you'll regret immediately.
I'm so ready to regret this.
Yeah, I'm so ready to be like, well, I played it once. If I don't play Warhammer for another 3 months, I'm technically passing the challenge. But no, it's all, I picked all destroyer cult units for Necrons and kind of have flayed ones and destroyer curse things. So I just have my idea is my little tomb ship is just dead floating through space. And just people came aboard and woke it up in a little Event Horizon style horror movie, and then it just crashed into a planet. And then there's just a bunch of scarabs chasing after them, trying to fix them up and stop them from being so fucking stupid, but they don't listen because they're insane. That is my headcanon for mine. Danny?
Great. John, I'm going to play right off yours for my headcanon. This is amazing.
Say for the 4 different army lists you've sent me so far.
Well, hold on a minute. There's 2 concepts. I'm going to stick with Speed Freaks, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play Speed Freaks Army. My canon is that even though John's ship is dead, it's still going faster than most orc ships can normally. So we were trying to race him, and we both crashed in the planet together, and that's why we're fighting. Because
that's fantastic.
There's no way that I'm going to let some dead tomb world beat me in a race.
Fucking love that. By the way, please name your characters orcified versions of Fast and Furious characters.
Absolutely.
The only thing I have to contribute here is that I recently got my son these bedtime story starters. So it's a deck of a big fat deck of cards, and it's just 2 paragraphs of a story, and then you make up the rest of the story. So that might be a cool thing for GW to do or something.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
But no one would ever use. Then maybe they could put a random name generator on the back of it.
Hey, they're a model company.
I gotta buy it.
They're a model company.
Yeah. No, not a name generating company.
Not a card company. Yeah.
All right, let's round this out and let Val go to die. Let's do some eBay prices.
I'm good here. Oh God. Back.
So happy I waited for the oh god before I hit the button.
I didn't hear no bell.
Dickie, you were killing it with the transitions
I'm on
today, by the way.
fire.
Just fantastic.
Stories 0, button pushing 10 out of 10. Love it.
Yeah. This is the kind of Dickie I like to see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Engage. It seems the more Val suffers, the better Dickie is.
I'm gaining his power somehow. I don't. It's so weird.
Oh.
Are you the Dorian Gray of Val? Is that what's is that what's happening? Are you the portrait, Dickie?
Yeah, maybe.
That's why we can't show him. Val's actually 300 years old. Oh, greetings, bargain lovers of YouTube. Get ready to test your powers of fiscal evaluation on The Price is Redacted, where we challenge the breadth of your secondhand miniature knowledge. Today's mission.
And he beat me last week, right?
You did. You need to accurately assess the sacred value of the sold items I found searching for Warhammer props.
Oh boy, this is going to be hard.
Based on the
something I
fact
would
that
buy.
I couldn't think of a good theme, and at some point this week, I think props were mentioned somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, we talked about a lot of tools.
That's the one. That's probably what it is. We're gonna go for that.
Got him.
Bonus point for Val. No, really. So anyway, our
No,
first
really,
prop.
he gets bonus points.
So starting with Danny, no fancy transitions or disappearances or things because full disclosure, I made this about an hour and a half ago when I was like, shit, I didn't do this yet.
Nice.
But our first item, covered by the impending doom that is the Canvas student notification of things that are due, is a Warhammer 40K.
I get those.
Buddy, I cannot wait to delete that stupid
Yeah, me
app.
too.
Oh god, it's going to be only a rite of passage. Anyway, as Warhammer 40K Absolver prop with color. So Danny, as last week's champion, how much did someone pay for a prop with color?
Huh.
Is it painted? All
It's
right, I
with
assume
color.
it is. It looks painted.
I can only use the title, Danny. I apologize. With color.
I'm looking at the thumbnail. I know. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess $55.
Wow.
Okay.
$55.
I'm going to $65.
$65. The right answer was, in fact, $75.
Nice.
Got him. Oh wow, that sound. What does that sound? That sound brought me back to something awful. I don't know what it is though.
Moving on.
It's good to know that the correct bell that the Dickie chose for his soundboard just triggers Val into a horrible memory.
What is that? That was a text notification sound from a dark time in my life. I think. I feel like that was the Windows. I feel like that's the Windows Phone text notification. The HTC Pro,
Oh. And then in chat,
Sounds
Dan
like a
M.
noise from Bejeweled.
something like that.
Dan M got it right on the money, $75. Sherman was a little over for 82, and Joel's a cheap ass, and he said 36.
36.
Now, so Val, you were closest without going over. So what was, or while going over, whatever, it works.
We don't do that. You ruined the game already before. Are we playing real rules now?
No, we're playing the game. Like I
Like
ruined
closest
things.
to. We're going closest to.
But
Yeah,
it's
just
not
closest
Grim
to.
After Dark if we're not ruining perfectly
Right.
good
we're
concepts.
doing
by
close-
changing
People
it.
to not understand what's happening, so that we
Yeah.
can flip this.
Got it.
So, Warhammer 40K inspired plasma pistol.
Yeah.
How much you paying for that?
That looks like it's got a glow effect on it.
Doesn't
an
say
LED
color. Doesn't say anything really.
Is that
Looks
looks
like someone did an airbrush over the power.
I don't know if it's an
cords.
airbrush or if it's got an LED. I'm gonna go on the assumption it's got an LED in it. $120.
Wow.
$120.
Wow, what a bid! I'm gonna go with less than $120.
Danny goes for 119, I guess.
Yeah, 119.
Oh,
The
It
answer
didn't
was
have LEDs in it. Didn't have any LEDs.
40,
Morgan Woods.
worth less than an
No.
auto pistol.
Fel, maybe it did, have LEDs, and that's just the market for these things.
I don't know, man. The other one went for 65, and it was a fucking Nerf gun with some paint on it.
I'm telling you, it was painted.
The LEDs ruined it for people. They won.
Yeah, maybe they don't
Maybe
want-
that is just a shitty spray effect. Just like I can't. I just got it's a tiny thumbnail, man. I'm just doing my best.
That's not accurate to how plasma guns charge.
Yeah, internet. Why aren't you complaining about the accuracy of Prop 40K weapons on eBay?
Right.
Yeah.
In their
Keep
defense,
that
they're probably
lower.
pretty accurate.
All right, Danny. We have not just any chainsword, but a heavy chainsword. Warhammer 40K cosplay prop 3D printed. I don't know if the heavy comes from the fact that it's a copy of a heavy chainsword or if the chainsword itself is heavy.
Looks like the one from Space Marine. I think this is going to be a bit of $69 for me, John.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
75.
75 from Val. The right answer is 135.65.
Actually, if you'd bid higher, I was going as high as 120 again because it's heavy. I mean, the quality's in the name. It's heavy,
Well, I say it's the weight, not necessarily the quality.
but I mean, printing is really about weight,
Fair.
not a material and such.
Is it? It's 3D printing is more about weight than quality, Val. That's the comment that you would
Look,
make.
yeah, the weight, like literally the amount of material. Like that's literally.
Like how much it costs.
Just wait until
Yeah,
you
exactly.
play him at fantasy and he lines up just like bricks of resin. Because
Oh,
it's a
you
huge
mean weight like because it takes a long time?
Because yes, it takes a long time, and there's literally more material required for it. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like literal
Right.
weight.
you gotta
Harder.
love these comments coming in, by the way.
Yeah.
We have Val needs help, guys.
Yeah.
Val needs medical attention.
Val sounds,
Val
Val
sounds like
sounds
he's-
like he's fading fast.
Val is a shell of a man.
Yeah.
I got that sweaty, itchy butt thing going on right now, so let's keep going.
Let's hope it's
okay.
sweat.
Yeah, we're going.
Warhammer 40K Space Marine Power Sword Light Up Blade cosplay
Light
prop.
Light
Lights up. So you know
Light
there's a light in there.
All right, now there are LEDs involved.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
for sure we've established that. This is probably going to go for more, I feel like.
It could
We got
be
multiple
incandescent
colors on the hilt. I'm on $120.
It seems to be your highest point that you're gonna put a.
That's the most he will
That's
pay
the
for a
most
prop
he would
item.
spend for anything. Yeah.
I should have gone higher. I'm gonna
$150.
fuck. Yeah, no, that's better. Yeah,
The right answer.
I fucked up. Yeah.
Whoa.
$315.36.
I know why that's stressing me out. That's like the next pick sound in the draft when you're playing fantasy fucking football. That's why. That's why I'm tripping out. Because then I have a panic attack.
I don't know who I'm choosing.
It wasn't on purpose. But
Does Randy Moss still play? I don't know football. But
I wish Randy still plays. Straight cash, homie. All right, let's go.
so we're tied up at 2 apiece.
I'm
now.
so mad at myself for that last one. All right, Danny.
and Val is
Yeah.
almost dead.
Right.
So if you do this, I think it'll.
You got one more.
You
Yeah.
got one more in him.
And Val,
Right?
if you win this, we're going to give you the cure to the poison that we gave you before the show started.
Inconceivable.
Warhammer 40K jetpack prop custom fodder 7-inch 1/10 scale Chaos Space Marine app.
I'm
What?
gonna say
Is
That was my reaction when I saw this, Val.
$30.
$30. Okay. How much is 7 inches worth to you, Val?
Custom fodder, 7 inches, 1/10 scale. So this is just slightly larger than a
110 scale figurines are basically the same size as Barbies.
It's like
So
the-
this is for those fucking the joy toys
Yeah.
for the butt
They're
plugs.
bigger than Joy Toys. We're talking about 8 inches tall here.
I know how big that is.
Maybe you do. I don't know, man.
$15.
$15.
$15 from Val. And then, Danny, what did you say?
30.
30. The right answer was
Oh.
Whoa, nice.
98
I didn't
cents.
want to go so cheap. That's actually not that surprising if it's 3D printed.
It's also it's just very small.
Yeah, no, it's not that big. Yeah,
It was
Hey.
50% off as well. They,
It does the job it was supposed to do. It doesn't matter about the size of the
You're
item.
right.
And it was 5% extra off with the coupon, Dickie.
Yeah, nice.
Beautiful. Closest in chat, by the way, was downvoting people who put $10 down. Dan M, please buy my stuff on eBay. He put $55 down. And Sherman with $25. Pretty close.
Pretty impressive work, guys.
Yeah. Proud of you all. Guys, Val, you made it.
You did it, buddy.
It's a slightly truncated show. Shorter one this week by
I
about
believe
10
it's truncated.
Maybe for you.
John's uncut and full of fury.
Ow.
I'm about to graduate, so you can.
You graduate with what, an English degree, right?
Yeah, I'm graduating in English.
Oh boy.
Oh no! This week I was telling you before we came on here, Danny. Like I got like a letter from the college that was like, "Hey, you've been accepted into Masters of English."
No, thank you.
Didn't apply. And my wife was like, "You're gonna do it?" I was like, what? So I could learn how to read poetry gooder? No, thank you. I'm good. I'll just get the 45.
Is your university just like a subscription? Like, did you just? If
That's
you
what
forget
it
to
feels
cancel
like.
it, do you have to just keep doing it?
It just rolls over into a master's degree.
It's really hard to cancel it.
Yeah.
It's actually just an MLM.
It's actually really easy to cancel it. You just don't pay them, and then they want nothing to do with you whatsoever. Man. Quality. What a show. Guys, I'm super hopeful that people stop just shit posting about Lady Custodes or Custoditas, as James Workshop so beautifully and eloquently put out there.
Custoditas.
That will make this show significantly better. That I don't have to try and coax Val through more people being shit on the internet.
Well, just shitty for more reasons than just weirdo sexism. Like I like a more well-rounded fascist diaspora to rag on. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like these one-note fascists. I want a more rainbow coalition of fascists.
Yeah. Multi-tiered.
Yeah. Show me some depth, guys. Can we
You like some depth.
Can we complain about I don't know immigrants in 40K or something? Like, I mean, let's get better. Like we can do.
Sure
we can
can.
do.
Oh, hey, I have a couple of things we're going to do here real quick. Just before Val goes here, while we have a couple minutes, we have some Patreon questions I've been ignoring for a while. And there's a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
So it says, now...
Yeah, sorry, Val. You stuck with us a little longer. You thought you were out.
Just 5 minutes
Drag
or
you
so.
back in.
Yeah, you're like, I have a minute 18 to kill. We're cool. So it says, now that women are allowed to participate in the blood games, if it was opened up to a baseline human, how would Grim After Dark win the blood games?
Ooh.
First, I must understand what the blood games are.
So, Danny, do you want to explain what the blood games are?
It's like a training exercise that Custodes do to try and assassinate the Emperor. They can basically do anything when they're on the blood games, and then the other custodians have to try and stop them.
Yep.
Quick question.
Yes.
Yep.
If you were really good at it, you'd kill the Emperor,
Yes.
and then everyone would be out of a job.
Yep.
But if you're not good at it, you get killed. So then you don't become a custodian.
No, you don't die. They take you down non-lethally. I don't know if they'd actually go and kill the Emperor.
Well, in the new Custodes Codex, the Lady Custode that's mentioned in that story tries to win the blood games by putting like a planet-destroying missile into the throne room.
Enter hoo-ha.
Through her. That's how she smuggled it in.
It's actually a key part of the story.
That's why he
The
couldn't
secret
get out of that. Couldn't get out of that plot. He just fucking backed himself into a corner. How could he possibly smuggle this bomb in there?
The secret
He
ingredient.
put it in the only place he could,
Feminism.
up his ass.
Your daddy carried this tactical nuke on his back. Oh, Dickie, how are you winning the blood games?
He's gonna put a missile in his butt.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna put a missile on
That's-
it.
that's
Maybe
how I was
two.
winning the
Maybe
blood
two
games.
missiles.
Maybe double it up.
Yeah.
Double.
Oh, Danny, are you just going to go triple missile at the butt?
You know, John, I'm not gonna speculate on the volume than my anal cavity can hold. So I don't know that I can hold more than a single rocket. It probably multiple rockets, though, I think is likely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'm winning the blood games, though, John. I think I'm going to get caught real early because I'm not like, the most stealthy person in the world. I think they would just see me and be like, dude, what are you doing? I'd be like, I don't know.
I'm not here.
Hey, guys, email was wrong. Not my turn to do the blood games. Don't worry about it. I just got to go clean the golden throne.
Nice.
I just got to go wipe off the golden throne, polish the emperor's sword, stuff like that.
Just put a fucking orange vest on and roll in with a clipboard.
Custodians are full service like that.
No one questions the orange vest, like Val said. So I'm just gonna put a vest on and be like, I'm here to work on the throne, and be like, oh shit, okay, come on, just make it quick. We're in the middle of blood games here, and then Imperium dies.
Nice.
And that sign. That sign is that it's time for the show to end.
That's the sound of.
Because nothing makes stomach issues better than vaping consistently throughout the show.
Yeah, that's true. It was a questionable call.
Danny, Val, plug your stuff and let's get out of here.
We just dropped a new episode of
Vampire Counts out?
Yeah, we did the Vampire Counts review.
Is it out? Oh, is it out?
Yeah, I think so. I think Adam dropped it while our show was going on.
Oh,
Danny
fuck
is
yeah.
talking about Old World Charm, an Old World based
Oh,
podcast.
man. Is Adam here to yell at you? No, I don't.
Yeah, I said Old World Charm, didn't I?
No, you're just talking about what episode
You
dropped.
just literally said we're dropping an episode.
Yeah,
I got you, buddy.
We did drop an episode. That's what I
but
said.
you didn't say who dropped the episode.
Yeah, I said the Old World Charm. We just dropped an episode. I swear to God.
I also interrupted him mid-thought.
Oh, fair. I didn't hear it, but also I'm not going to listen to this again. I wouldn't put myself through that. So
that's fine. Yeah, it's important.
Awesome. Val, you got anything to plug this week apart from your various holes?
My butt. But also, I'm straight up going to listen to Old World Charmed almost immediately.
Curious the sickness
that he has. On the way to the hospital. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Well, on my way to the old golden throne.
And then after 7 to 10 days, you'll be seen by a trained professional.
What?
8 hours, maybe.
Oh, ER. Got it. Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, thank you, everyone, including Val, for joining us here on Grim After Dark. You can find all of our socials and way to support us at grimafterdark.com. We will be back next Tuesday live at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you enjoyed yourself, check out our back catalog on YouTube. From everyone here at Grim After Dark, we'll see you next Tuesday. Biatch.
It's time to step into the grim darkness where nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts John, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose it's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, we are not the same. So put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim After Dark, the nerds playground. Talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them, put my hands around the neck, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.